this is chapter 25 of our novel The Enchanted Wood, and today's chapter is called In Santa Claus's Castle. Joe got to the car first. "Quick!" he cried. "I can hear boom boom coming!" He must have got free. So he had. He appeared at the door of his peculiar house, and they saw that he had freed himself by cutting his beard short. He did look strange. The toy rabbit revved up his car and it shot off almost before Saucepan was safely in. A kettle flew clanging down the road and Saucepan groaned. "Well, thank goodness that kettle's gone," said Joe. "It can't stick into me again. Oh dear, I feel I want to turn head over heels." "Well, you can't," said Moonface firmly, "unless you want to be caught by the boom boom fellow. Here, Saucepan, hang on to Joe and stop him turning head over heels into the car." It was difficult to stop him, but they managed it. After they had gone a good way, the rabbit stopped the car for a talk, and Joe took the chance of turning about a dozen somersaults. "You know, I think we should go to the land of Santa Claus," said the rabbit. "I do, really. Not to give him Silky, of course, that would never do, but to tell him you aren't toys and to ask him if he can stop you being what you are not." "That's a bit muddling," said Moonface, trying to work it out. "Yes, it seems a good idea. After all, he deals in toys, doesn't he? He must know them very well. He'll be able to tell we're not real toys and might help us." "We know he's kind," said Silky. "He's so fond of children. Let's go to him. How can we get there, though? This land may stay at the top of the faraway tree for some time, and the land of Santa Claus may not be the next one to arrive." "That's true enough," said the rabbit. "Actually, the next land on the timetable is the land of squalls, which doesn't sound too good. But I'll tell you what I can go do for you." "What?" asked Joe. "I can drive you to the next station and put you on a train for the land of Santa Claus," said the toy rabbit. "I happen to notice that some trains there do go to this land. What about friends?" "A very good idea," said everyone, and off they went. They came to a funny little station after a while, and they all got out. "I wish you could stay in my land forever, Silky doll," said the rabbit to Silky. "You really are the prettiest thing I ever saw. But there, you'd be unhappy, and I couldn't bear that." "I'll write to you," said Silky. "Will you, really?" said the rabbit. "Do you know, I've never had a letter in my life. It would make me feel important. Look, there's a train in. Wow, this train's going to the land of Santa Claus. What a bit of luck," cried Moonface. "Goodbye, rabbit. You really have been a good friend. I'll write to you." "My goodness, fancy me getting 2 letters," said the delighted rabbit. "We'll all write," said Joe, shaking his furry hand warmly. "Goodbye, it's been lovely meeting you." Silky gave him a kiss and he nearly cried for joy. "I've never been kissed before," he said. "Never! A kiss and letters, my goodness, I am a lucky rabbit." They all climbed into the train and waved goodbye. "Nice fellow, that rabbit," said Joe. "Well, we're off again. I wonder how far it is." It was quite a long way and they all fell asleep. A porter woke them up at last. "Hey you, don't you want to get out here?" he said. "This is where toys usually get out." They scrambled out because the station board said, "Get out of here for the castle of Santa Claus." "Just in time," said Joe, yawning. "Oh, here I go, turning head over heels again." "There's the castle, look," said Beth, pointing to a magnificent castle with many towers, rising high on a hilly nearby. "And goodness, look at the snow. Anyone would think it was winter here." "Oh, it always is," said the porter. "It wouldn't be much good for sleighs, would it, if there wasn't snow? Is Santa Claus expecting you? His sleigh usually meets the train in case there are any visitors for him." "Is that it down there?" asked Moonface, pointing down into the snowy station yard. A sleigh was there with 4 lovely reindeers, whose bells jingled as they moved restlessly. A small red pixie held the reins. "Yes, that's the sleigh. Better go and get in," said the porter. He stared hard at Silky. "Goodness, isn't that a pretty doll? I bet Santa Claus will want her for his very own Christmas tree." They went to the sleigh and got into it. "To Santa Claus, please," said Joe, and off they went, gliding smoothly over the snow, drawn by the 4 eager reindeer. They arrived at the castle. They felt rather nervous when they saw how big and grand it was. They stood at the enormous door, carved with all kinds of toys, and rang a great bell. The door swung open. "Please come in," said a teddy bear, dressed like a footman. "Santa Claus will see you in a few minutes." They went into a big hall, and then into a great room where many little pixies and goblins were at work. "You might like to look around while you're waiting," said the bear footman. "You'll see the pixies painting the doors' houses, and the goblins putting growls into us bears, and you'll see how the somersaults are put into the clockwork clowns." "I don't want to see that," said Joe, feeling at once that he wanted to go head over heels. He turned a few and then stood up again. "What are those pixies doing over there?" he said. "Putting the hum into tops," said the footman. "But don't go too near. One of the hums might get into you by mistake, and that's such a nuisance, you know." They stood at a safe distance watching. It was very interesting indeed. So many things were going on. There was so much to see and hear that they almost forgot they were toys themselves. "How's your growl, Bear?" said a little pixie, running up to Moonface. He pressed him in the middle, and Moonface growled deeply. "Grrr! Leave me alone! I don't like people doing that. Grrr!" "Look, oh look, isn't that Santa Claus himself?" cried Beth, suddenly, as a big man came into the room, dressed in bright red. He wore a hood trimmed with white, and his jolly face had eyes that twinkled brightly. "Yes, it's Santa Claus!" cried Joe. Santa Claus heard him and came over at once. He looked in surprise at Silky. "Why," he said, "where did you come from? You weren't made in my castle by pixies and goblins. You are the loveliest doll I've ever seen. I've a good mind to keep you for myself and put you in the very top of my own big Christmas tree." "No, no, please no," said Silky. Santa Claus looked down at the others. He seemed puzzled. "Where do you all come from?" he said. "I'm quite sure I've never had any toys made like you. The rabbit dressed up in kettles and saucepans, for instance, and this funny little bear. It doesn't seem like a proper teddy." "We're not proper toys," said Beth. Santa Claus, "We got turned into toys at the fort of the toy soldiers. I'm a little girl, really. And I'm Moonface, who lives at the top of the faraway tree," said Moonface. "What? The famous Moonface, who has a slippery slip in his room, going right down the tree from top to bottom?" cried Santa Claus. "My goodness! I've often wanted to see that. Do you think I'm too fat to go down it?" No, I don't think so," said Moonface, looking at him. "I could give you 2 cushions to sit on instead of 1. If you'd like to come now, you can go up and down the faraway tree as often as you like. We'll haul you up in the washing basket every time you arrive at the bottom, and you can slide down again from the top." "Let's go now," said Santa Claus in delight. Well, well, to think I'm meeting the famous Moonface at last. And I suppose this lovely doll is Silky the fairy. And of course, this is old Saucepan Man. "But how do you know us?" asked Moonface, astonished. "Oh, I've heard about you from the children," said Santa Claus. "They keep asking me for books about you to go into their Christmas stockings. And they look so excited that I read them all. I did want to meet you." "Well, wasn't that a bit of luck?" Santa Claus called his sleigh and they all got in. "To the top of the faraway tree," commanded Santa Claus. And away they went. It didn't take very long. In quite a little while the sleigh landed at a broad bough near the top of the tree, and they all got out. "My room is just a bit higher up," said Moonface, and led the way. They were soon in his little round room. He pointed to the curious hole in the middle of the floor. "There you are," he said. "There's the slippery slip. It goes round and round from top to bottom of the tree, and you fly out of the trapdoor at the bottom and land on a soft cushion of moss." "Splendid," said Santa Claus. "Will somebody else go first, please? Goodness, it's exactly the same as I read about in the books." Do you think you could change us back to our ordinary selves?" asked Joe, afraid in his excitement that Santa Claus might forget to do what they so badly wanted. "I feel as if I'm going to somersault again, and I don't want to turn head over heels all the time and all the way down the slippery slip." Change your back? Yes, of course, it's easy, said Santa Claus. The slippery slip is just the right place for a spell. Shut your eyes, please. They all shut their eyes. Santa Claus touched each one gently, chanting a curious little song. Go in as you are, come out as you were. Go in as you are, come out as you were. They opened their eyes. Moonface got cushion and pulled Beth onto it. He gave her a tremendous push, and she shot down the slippery slip at top speed, round and round. Then out she flew through the trapdoor at the bottom and landed on a tuft of moss. Oh, she said, breathless. Oh, I'm myself again. I'm not a stiff-jointed doll any longer, and I can shut and open my eyes properly. She got up, and out the trapdoor flew Joe. Joe, you're all right again. You're you, cried Beth in delight. And here comes Silky. She's not a doll any more. And look, and here's Franny. She's all right too. Look out, here's the old saucepan man. Yippee, he's back to normal. And he's lost his floppy ears, said Silky. I'm rather sorry. I liked him with those long ears. Good old saucepan. And then whoosh! The trapdoor shot open with a bang, and out sailed Santa Claus, his hood on the back of his head. Bump! He went onto the cushion of moss and sat there, panting and full of delight. What a thrill! What a thrill! Better than anything I've got in my castle. Look out! Here comes Moonface, cried Joe, and out came Moonface, no longer a fat teddy bear, but his old beaming self once more. I'd like to do that again, said Santa Claus, standing up. How did you say you get back to the top of the tree in a basket? Yes, said Joe, but if you don't mind, we won't come with the others. You see, our mother will be wondering about us. So we'd better say goodbye and thank you very much. Goodbye, see you next Christmas, said Santa Claus. I'll bring you something extra nice. Ah, here comes the basket, let down on a rope. Do we get in? The last thing that Joe, Beth and Franny saw was Santa Claus in the big basket, being pulled slowly up by the squirrels at the top of the tree. Moonface and Silky and Saucepan were with him, leaning over the edge of the basket, waving to them. Well, I suppose dear old Santa Claus will be going down that slippery slip till it's dark, said Joe. Oh dear, surely I'm not going to turn head over heels again. I feel just like it. Oh, you'll soon get out of the habit, said Beth. I still feel as if I want to walk stiffly like a doll. Goodness, wasn't that an adventure? We'll never have a better one, said Franny. Oh yes, we will, Franny, Beth and Joe. You just wait and see. And that's the end of the chapter.